Okay? All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Derek's older brother, Drew, and I get the honor of giving a speech to Derek and Katie tonight. Katie, it shouldn't be too painful. And also, Jenny said that since this is her house, that I should go first. She kind of gets choice, first or second. But with that, we want to thank Jenny and Ryan for offering their property tonight and hosting this. So thank you, and we're qualifying it as a peaceful protest if anybody asks. So we'd also like to thank Katie's parents, Terry and Shane Baker, and our parents, Jim and Pat Whalen, for everything that you guys have done tonight. So, as Pastor mentioned during the wedding, planning and replanning and planning some more, but we're finally here, and it's a great night. Couldn't be more beautiful, I don't think. So, Katie, I know you've gotten to know Derek pretty well over the last several years. 6, 7, 8 years now. You guys have dated for a while. So I think you know him pretty well. Probably almost as well as Allison and I. And you may have kind of picked up that Derek's had several nicknames along the way. So I'm not sure how many different nicknames Derek's had. I've kind of lost count over the years, but he's had a lot. And I can attest that Derek, having an older brother and sister, probably had some part of that. We both may have came up with a few of those. So I wanted to highlight a few of the more memorable nicknames that Derek's had over the years. So a couple of the highlights. Number one, we'll start with D-Whopper. I'm not quite sure where this one originated from, but Uncle Timmy was a big fan of that, and it's one of the longer running nicknames Derek's had. So next on the list, Sparky. This is going back to his very younger years. And I don't have a lot of recollection of where this one came from, but it was one of the first ones, so it's got a little memory to it. Another one is Hot Dog.
Sparky and Hot Dog came from the drag race track. That was Donovan.
Okay, that was part of it. Thank you, Allison. So, and I also remember Derek eating a lot of hot dogs. And he was also a little bit of a hot dog on the basketball court. And a little shout out to Derek. The first game he ever played, he scored 23 of his team's 25 points. So that's not bad for a short white kid. So
Braden had the other two.
And okay, Braden had the other two. Made the stat book again here tonight. So, and that brings us to probably the most popular and longest lasting nickname that has been bestowed upon Derek is Peanut. Everybody affectionately knows him as. So Derek has embraced this, or at least accepted it for the most part. There's a short time during his childhood that he didn't really like it. I remember one Sunday after church I called him Peanut, and he wasn't really a big fan of it and didn't appreciate it. He tried to come up with some kind of a retaliation, some kind of name to call me, and he quickly came up with Squirrel. He called me Squirrel, and we're on the way home after church on a Sunday, and without missing a beat, Mom's in the front church and in the front seat. She turns around and says, "Derek, you know squirrels eat nuts." So he wasn't too impressed with that. So Derek, almost 5 years ago, you were the best man at my wedding. And I'm honored to do the same for you now. But I'd also like to pass on a little bit of marriage advice and things that I've learned over those 5 years. So number one, don't eat the last one of anything. Just don't do it. Number two, let Katie organize and put things wherever she wants to in your new house. It'll be much easier if you don't fight her. The third one on the list, don't be afraid to tackle home improvement projects together. This could slightly test your relationship, but it will make you stronger for it. Next, get a king-size bed. You'll sleep better. Katie will take up the same amount of room, but you'll get the extra when you go to a king-size bed. Number 5, she's going to move your stuff. Get used to it. What makes this tricky is with some things, you don't know if you misplaced it or if she moved it. I don't really have a good resolution for this, but just warning you, it will happen. So if anybody out in the crowd knows a solution or has any ideas, look me up after the speech tonight. Let me know. So, and finally, grow together. I hope you two are closer to each other in 5 years, 25 years, and 50 years than you are already today. So I can attest that my wife and I, we're closer together now than we were 5 years ago, and I hope the same for you guys. So with that, Derek, it's an honor to be your older brother. I'm proud that you have followed in some of my footsteps and also forged a path of your own at the same time. I wish you two a wonderful marriage, and I hope you have a happy life. So with that, let's raise our glasses and toast to Derek and Katie. To Derek and Katie, congratulations, guys.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Your husband needs to for this.
I don't think anybody here is more relieved than I am. This has been a lot of planning and replanning. I went ahead and wrote down what I was going to say, though, because I knew that'd be best. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jenny, Katie's sister. I know the maid of honor speech can drag on, especially when you're ready to enjoy the band and have a good time. But you're in my backyard, so I'm going to take as much time as I want. My sister has been worrying about what I would say at this moment for her entire engagement, I believe. And that engagement sure drug on thanks to some Chinese bats or whatever it was that we've decided the story is. Katie would often ask me, hey, what are you going to say in your speech? Like I tell her. Several times she would say or do something and quickly follow it with, don't mention that in your speech. She wasn't the only one trying to dictate what I may or may not say. My husband said, don't cry. A friend said, keep it comical. My mom said, don't be nasty. And my 9-year-old Jet, I don't know where he's at, he said, try and make it rhyme. So I'm going to see if I can satisfy everybody here. Without too much emotion, I do want to tell you how special my sister is to me and my family. Katie was a granted wish for me, literally a granted wish. For as long as I could remember, until my 13th birthday, I wished on my birthday candles for a baby sister. Because it was just me. I was an only child until she came along. I wished every single year that I can remember before that for a baby sister. And that day finally came, and when it did, I was there to welcome her into the world. That's right, I was there when she was born. A very shocked and horrified 12-year-old. I even cut her umbilical cord. True story. I'm so proud of how she's grown into a beautiful woman, and I feel like I have not only a sister, but a best friend in my granted birthday wish. Derek has also grown on me. I see how much he loves and cares for my sister, and it often reminds me of how our dad is with our mom. I know Derek is the perfect man for Katie, and I'm ecstatic my boys will have him to call Uncle. I'm also excited to stop hearing him say the word fiance. My sister is the baby. She's the baby because she was born last and because she is babied. I won't mention her cushy college apartment. I won't mention the fact that she still has mom and dad's credit card, which I think we should get back today. She's off the books now. I think the biggest difference, though, is how they've babied Katie's feelings. And that's okay, that's not a bad thing, because Katie's much more sensitive than I am. But my mom kind of took it to the extreme when Katie was about 7 or so. Instead of the explanation that Mom gave me about the difference between boys and girls, which for me was a very medical, nurse-like explanation, she told Katie that boys had a tail. I don't know when Katie got the whole true story on that, but I'm assuming after a few years in nursing school, she's got it figured out. My mom and dad are great parents. I know they love us both equally. But I don't ever remember seeing my dad on multiple occasions wearing Crest white strips for my wedding. Just saying. And last for the rhyming, this I'd like to call Warning to a Brother-in-Law. So today you married my sister. Aren't you a lucky one? You've snagged yourself a wife. Your single life is done. You're looking forward to forever with my sister by your side. But let me warn you, brother-in-law, you're in for quite a ride. Katie Hope Baker, or Katie Hope Whalen as she's called now, is used to being a bit pampered. Let me tell you how. She hasn't washed her own laundry since living with mom and dad. She makes a mess out of the kitchen, although her cooking isn't bad. Katie expects you to kiss her dog. But maybe you're into that too. She's notorious for not flushing. And she leaves her dirty clothes in full view. Now there are other issues with Katie of which you have to be aware. I don't just mean the stuck-on noodle messes or shower drains full of her hair. Katie is caring and thoughtful. She loves to buy gifts and give treats. She also loves animals. Get ready for her little dog hairs in your sheets. She once wore fake glasses to comfort a friend when she was 8. No lenses in them for like a year.
That was true.
She's taken great care of me when I wasn't feeling great. I know Katie sounds like a handful, but living with her is actually the best. She's always thinking about pleasing others. Hey, that's good news for your love nest. My sister is sensitive. Her heart is made of pure gold. You should thank your lucky stars she chose you to have and to hold. So you're married to my sister. She's yours until death does part. Treat her like the treasure she is. I'm trusting you with her heart. My brand new brother-in-law, a last little warning for you. She knows there's no tail. That gig is up. Now get to work on my niece or nephew. So raise your glasses and let's have a good time tonight. I've never had a band in my backyard before, so let's make it a good time. To Katie and Derek.
Mom, do this.
Put the ears back.
Yeah, put your ears back.
No, I only do that with you.
All right, these two. And
I don't know how to explain it out. Some choice words.
There you go.
Good. Look, your tie is almost as tall as you are. This one's short. It's not good.
Okay, look up and get your picture.
Wait a minute, say, been here, doofus.
Good.
Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
You can hit me too if you want. That's right. Is it good?